This is too despicable. Downstage, Zhu Shuiyi and the others had all started shouting in anger. No wonder Feng Luo had been so sure of himself. He had apparently bribed some of the martial artists in the same group to work for him. More than 30 of them were working together, and since this was the 40th group, the seeded elite would not be too strong. Thus they'd be more than enough to sweep away all other contenders. Then, the others would all leave the stage of their own free will, so the remaining Feng Luo would naturally be able to obtain a place in the top 50. And he, of course, would not unreasonably demand to enter the top 10, and definitely not the first place. After all top 50 participants were guaranteed to be enrolled into Huyang Academy. He's too shameless, completely unfair. All the others downstage had started calling out as well. This was an act of openly breaking the tournament regulations. Yet the referee only gave a cold humph and shouted, "Shut up!" Since the tournament regulations did not specify that it was not allowed for individual martial artists to join forces, then Feng Luo's actions were of course allowed. It could at most be argued that he had managed to take advantage of a loophole in the rules. What power and influence a warrior in Gushing Spring Tier possessed, all the people downstage were immediately silenced. No wonder that guy had been so confident. He had already bribed some of the others in his group, Zhu Shuiyi said, extremely angry. To be ganged up on by so many people, plus at least more than 10 of them have already reached Element Gathering Tier. It would be difficult for Ling Han to fight against the onslaught of so many. He's going to be in big trouble. Liu Dong frowned. Not necessarily. Li Hao shook his head and said, Big Brother Ling should have already reached the 4th layer of Element Gathering Tier. Furthermore, he has even formed 4 flashes of Sword Qi, so there is still a chance for him to win. He definitely has to win. That guy, Feng Luo, is really too despicable. The 5 of them all began to cheer Ling Han on. Compared to them, Liu Yutong and Liu Dongxing were extremely calm. A bunch of sheep working together would still only be a bunch of sheep. How could they possibly be able to match a mighty lion? Ha ha ha! Leave this guy for last. Chase all the others off the stage. Feng Luo crowed and commanded the group of more than 30 martial artists to begin wiping out the others. Their combined might was extremely powerful, and due to their cooperation, they had managed to get all the other outsiders, aside from Ling Han, off the stage, and that was with the mere price of 7 of their numbers being pulled down alongside their victims. Now, this was a battle of 29 against 1, and out of the 29, 14 were in Element Gathering Tier. Oh no, though this brat is a seeded elite, since he's been arranged to be in the 40th group, that means that he's most likely only in the 4th layer of Element Gathering Tier. Yeah, many ants can kill even an elephant, and the other party even has 10+ warriors in Element Gathering Tier working for him. I really can't bear to look at that guy, Feng Luo's expression at having his villainous scheme succeeding. Hush, lower your voices. Although the Feng clan isn't a major clan, Feng Luo's elder brother is a well-known genius in our Deyuan city. In the last round of Deyuan tournament, he managed to defeat the 4th prince to get the 1st place. I heard he's already stepped into Gushing Spring Tier. What Gushing Spring Tier? Is that true? Of course it's true. Hiss, no wonder that guy, Feng Luo, dares to be so arrogant. Listening to the discussions of those downstage, Feng Luo felt extremely proud of himself. He did break the rules, but so what? What, you guys can't accept this? He challenged the people downstage. Bite me if you can. You can do something like this too if you have a good elder brother like me. Most of the audience offstage started gnashing their teeth in hatred. They really felt that this guy was despicable down to the bones, making them all feel the urge to rush onto the stage to give him a good thrashing. Ling Han, previously you made use of the advantage in numbers against me, but this time I have so many people on my side. Even if every one of them only hit you once, they'd be able to give you a terrible thrashing. If you know what's good for you, then kneel down immediately and beg me for mercy. I may even consider hitting you a few times less. Feng Luo said, pointing at Ling Han. Had it been them bullying him because of them having an advantage in numbers previously? Indeed, at the time, all his lackeys had died, while Ling Han's side had 7 people. So that was actually them bullying him because of their advantage in numbers? This guy was indeed shameless to a whole new level. Ling Han shook his head and said, "Looks like if I don't hurry up and throw you off the stage and allow a clown like you to continue your performance, the fury of the masses would probably be incited." Laughter broke out instantly downstage. "What a hateful guy, you still dare to be so stubborn, I won't spare you." Feng Luo was driven practically mad from fury. He extended a finger and pointed at Ling Han and said, "Beat him, give him a good beating." "Understood." The group of more than 20 people all rushed towards Ling Han. All of them were brandishing their respective weapons, presenting a fierce image. The tournament stage battles allowed the use of weapons, otherwise the martial artists would not be able to display their strongest abilities. However, this also increased the danger of the battles. So if you were afraid of dying, then it would be best if you quickly jumped off the stage on your own. If you stayed on the stage, then you should have a certain level of mental preparation. Ling Han did not bother to use his sword. He charged over with only his fists. Using dashing panther fists would be more than enough to handle these people. Peng! 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 He charged forward, and every single person who stood in his way was flung off stage with a single punch from him. One has to understand that although his cultivation level was only the 4th layer of element gathering tier, with the eruption of the 5 elements origin nuclei, his prowess could be compared with that of a normal person in the 8th layer of element gathering tier. Additionally, the dashing panther fists was a yellow-grade high-level martial arts technique, so wouldn't it be more than enough for him to single-handedly deal with these people? By the time Ling Han reached Feng Luo, all the others had been thrown off stage by him. There was absolute silence. Wasn't this guy too powerful? Since he was the seed of the 40th group, then shouldn't it be obvious that he was only in the 5th layer of element gathering tier at most? But judging from his ferocious attacks, that was definitely power that was at least of the late stage of element gathering tier. Could it be that he had deliberately hidden his actual cultivation level, pretending to be a pig to devour the tiger? However, there were naturally the older generations of the various great clans present on this occasion, so there was no lack of people with cultivation levels above the 5th layer of element gathering tier. Naturally, they managed to easily sense Ling Han's aura, and it definitely showed that he was only in the 4th layer of element gathering tier. This caused them to be confused as well. They all started murmuring amongst themselves, exchanging their thoughts about how this could be possible. "No, impossible," Feng Luo said, shivering. His expression was one of complete disbelief. The script wasn't supposed to be like this. He should have successfully and easily entered into Huyang Academy. Then, with the care and assistance of his brother, easily break through to element gathering tier. If he was lucky, he'd be able to consume some kind of spiritual fruit, and may even be able to break through to gushing spring tier. But all of his plans were rendered useless if he couldn't manage to enter into Huyang Academy. Arrogant! Just continue being arrogant! Ha ha ha! Just continue staying on stage, if you dare. The people downstage all started taunting Feng Luo. They had already long been displeased by this guy, but just now, because he had a lot of people on his side, they didn't dare to make too much of a fuss. But what about now? Who would have imagined that Ling Han would actually be so powerful? You immediately admit defeat, then get off the stage. Otherwise, I will tell my brother to take care of you. With the taunting resounding in his ears, Feng Luo finally reacted. He actually pointed at Ling Han and commanded him to give up. Ling Han shook his head. This guy had really been spoiled. He was a complete idiot. "Pa!" He leapt and aimed a kick at Feng Luo's lower abdomen. "So!" The guy flew off stage. He held on to his lower abdomen, gasping in pain. It even looked like he was about to tear up from the pain. 40th group. Ling Han wins. The referee announced. "No! This place is mine! It's mine!" When Feng Luo heard this, he actually jumped up and said to the referee, "Change your judgment immediately, or else I'll have my brother beat you to death." Everyone else instantly broke out into incredulous laughter. Someone merely in body-refining tier actually dared to threaten a warrior of gushing spring tier. It was absolutely hilarious. Get lost. The referee gave a cold humph. He stretched out a hand and gathered his origin power to form a gigantic hand, which took hold of Feng Luo and threw him out.